Okay. Hi, everybody. I
Hi
guess
everyone.
yes. Nice. Yeah, people are probably start joining the event, which is awesome. And you guys, you can interact with us using the comment, the post a comment, and we can see it on our side here. Hello, Sonia. Nice to see you again. Hello, guys. If you can let us know where you are, where you're from, that would be fantastic. Where you are, uh, where you're based. That just to have an idea. Jeffrey, so I can see some familiar faces here. Okay, so Western Canada, Tabitha. We have people from Naples. Oh my, that's so yeah. Even Hawaii. Not knowing my data. Oh, nice. Many Americans today. Um, just so as you know, this webinar will be recorded. So in case you need to leave, don't worry. You will receive one email with the recording, and you can watch it later. So yes, Andrew from the UK, Mark, Dale. Oh, good to see some faces here
Everywhere in the world.
everywhere. We'll just take 5 minutes just to wait for everybody to join in. Then we will start. Okay, people looking to establish a business in Portugal. Nice. London. Yeah, good to see you guys. Really. So just wait for a little while, and then we can start. Oh my, it's cold here in Portugal today, right, Guilherme?
A lot. I
I'm,
bet, especially in the north, I would say.
yeah, so cold. I can't trying to hold myself here, but
Yeah, I would say not as cold as some of the locations that we have here. The people that are here, but cold for Portugal.
certainly, yeah, we saw people from Canada, so probably a little colder than here, but
Even the UK. Yeah.
yeah. But actually, I like this season that we are in, like end of the winter. So it's cold, but not that cold, as we can see in January, mid February.
8 degrees in the UK.
Yeah.
A little bit colder.
Oh, 30 degrees. Oh, minus 30 degrees. Oh my. Yeah, Tabitha won the game.
You won.
Okay, just a little while. Um, it's in less than 1 minute we will start. Okay, okay, guys. So we waited for 5 minutes. So now we can start. I will share a slide presentation with you so that we can follow along. Let me see if I do it the right way. I always get lost using this apps. Okay. Okay. I guess I did it. So first of all, I would like to thank everybody for being here, for spending some time with us. We will make it as most straightforward as we can. We will talk about the golden visa, the Portuguese golden visa. Me and my friend Guilherme. I will focus more on the procedure itself and what is the Portuguese golden visa, the advantages when comparing to other type of golden visas. And my friend Guilherme, he will focus on a specific type of investment that certainly will catch your attention. And it's and Guilherme, thank you so much for being here with me. Really, really a pleasure.
Thank you for inviting us to be. It's a pleasure to be here with all these people.
Thank you. So let me start here. Um, I would love to introduce myself. Many of you already know me. I'm Victor. I run a business called Viv Europe, where we help people navigate through this process of immigrating to Portugal, which can be a kind of a complex process due to the number of documents we need to gather, but certainly one that it's if everything is done correctly, will lead to a move for a nice place that is Portugal. So I run this business. I'm on the relocation side, so information about documents, the process. This is something I'm used to do. Me and we, of course, we have a team of people to help navigate this process. I'm also an expat. As many of you know, I am Brazilian. I moved to Portugal 6 years ago. So it's been a while since I've been living here. Just love the country, love um, the experience of living in Europe. I've made good friends here. What people say that Portuguese people are very welcoming. They really, really are. And it's been nothing
Thank
but
you.
flowers. Uh, Guilherme is just another example of a nice person, nice friend who um, became quite a friend during this process. And I live in the north region. I live in Porto. There is some kind of a challenge between the north and the south of Portugal. This is something very funny. It's like a friendly competition, I would say, right? Which place has the best food, the best people, the best beer? Superboc versus Sagres, and
Yeah, I live in Lisbon, but I'm actually from Porto, so I root for your team.
oh, good, good, good. Nice, even better. We're going to become even closer friends. And so it's a pleasure being here again. This topic is one that I really like talking about, because I do think that the Portuguese golden visa is one of the best one if you compare to other European countries. But this I will talk a little bit later. Now I will leave the space to my friend Guilherme to introduce himself.
Yes, so from my side, so once again, thank you so much for the invitation from Vive Europe. It's a pleasure for Oxy Capital and for me be here. So I'm an investment professional. I will present in a few slides what Oxy Capital is, but real quickly, we are the largest private equity in Portugal. So investing in companies in Portugal. I'm an investment professional here. I've been here for more than 6 years. I'm a principal and I'm leading the Golden Visa investments funds. And my experience over these last few years, I have been involved in more than 100 investments, more than 10 investments here at Oxy Capital. But I will go into a little bit more detail in the other slides. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Yes, it's such an honor to be with you and Oxy Capital, which is, as you mentioned, the biggest one. So it's certainly it's the type of investment. It's something that will really cut people's attention. And so I would like to talk a little bit about the Portuguese Golden Visa and why many people they decide to invest in this one instead of the many others that are also an option. And there has been many news regarding the Portuguese Golden Visa lately. People are still in, they don't know really well if it's still active or not anymore. But it's pretty much active. It's pretty much alive, as I will show you. There has been small changes on the structure, but it's still possible to apply if you consider certain types of investments, as I will show you guys. So, and why do I think that the Portuguese one is one of the best? There are some reasons why. First one is that you can choose to live in this beautiful country if you want to. There's so many nice beaches in the Algarve region. If you want this kind of environment, sunny place. Also, if you want to go to the mountains, we have Serra da Estrela, which is pretty close to where I live. Now, I guess it's snowing there. It snows for a specific time of the year. So you can, go from a sunny place and just in maybe 4 hours driving, you can go to a snowy place so that you can see how Portugal can provide you with some different environments. So if you want to come to Portugal, live here, you can. But if that's not what you're looking for, if you are more guided to the passport or maybe having your family living here instead of you, it's also possible. Okay, so there is a minimum requirement that you have to stay here in Portugal. That is for the first year, you need to stay here at least 7 days, and for the following years, 14 days. So it's almost nothing if you compare to other golden visas where you really need to live in the place that you are applying for. So this is more guided to those investors that they want to invest in a golden visa but don't really need to live in the country. So this is something very special regarding the Portuguese golden visa. Also, as I kind of mentioned before, the Portuguese golden visa can lead to a citizenship. You can become a Portuguese citizen if you hold your golden visa investment and follow the rules for 5 years. In 5 years, you can either apply for a permanent residence permit, which means you won't have to renew it in a few amount of time. You can stay here for longer with a permanent permit. And also, if you decide to apply for the citizenship, It's up to you. You can apply, you can become a Portuguese citizen. There are some, requirements for your application. You need to know basic Portuguese, which is not, very hard to handle. It's easy for me to say, or for Guilherme, who are born in a Portuguese-based country. But 5 years, it's time. It's time enough to learn the basics. And if you really intend to live here, I'm pretty sure that that will be done without so much struggle. And it's so this is certainly a requirement that people, they think that they won't meet, but usually, living here, it's pretty easy to manage the language. And of course, you and your family can come to Portugal. You and your family can become Portuguese/European citizens, because having a Portuguese passport means you can travel to all Schengen visa countries without the need to apply for a visa. You will get the freedom you want to, make business in other countries. There are many advantages if you think about the Portuguese golden visa. The most important one is that you have freedom. You can come to Europe. You can. I remember that I saw here a message. Let's see, from home, from Andrew, that wants to set up a business in Portugal. You can set up a business in Portugal if you and live here applying for the golden visa. There are no restrictions. You can come to Portugal, you can even work here if that's what you're looking for. So freedom, I would say, is the most important word when you think about the Portuguese golden visa. And talking about these changes that I've mentioned before, um, there has been many uh, news regarding these changes, and many people still think that the Portuguese golden visa has come to an end, but that's not the case. The thing is, uh, the property side of the golden visa, so the golden visa that was linked to the acquisition of a property, this one is really out of business. So now, due to many reasons, mainly focus on inflation of the real estate market here in Portugal, the government decided to stop the golden visa based on property acquisition. And but the system, the golden visa, is still on for other types of investments. There is one related to creating a business, that's for sure. And if you it's more related to creating jobs. But certainly the most popular one nowadays is based on an investment. So if you invest in a Portuguese fund, and there are, of course, many requirements for this fund, for example, to be eligible for the golden visa. But considering that the fund is eligible, you can apply for the golden visa if you invest a certain amount of money to a fund, which means you will be able to not only in 5 years get your passport if that's what you're looking for, but also have your money um, waiting for you, in the fund. So that's certainly the most, I would say, the most popular way of applying for the Portuguese golden visa nowadays. And just to conclude, the process of applying for the golden visa, it's pretty it's pretty straightforward, to tell you the truth. There is not so we know that Portugal is known for its bureaucracy. It's a common sense. We know, especially people who applied for a visa before, maybe a D7, a D2 visa. We know that we have to deal with public agencies that sometimes they are not as responsive as we wanted to. But I would say that for the golden visa specifically, the process is much more straightforward, mainly because the at least the application it's held online. We can upload the documents and start the process through a portal, which means we don't have to schedule appointments at the beginning. We don't have to um, we have to notarize some documents. That's true, but we can. It's all digital based. Okay, you don't have to carry out documents with you, at least in the application stage. So it is fairly straightforward. But other than the uploading the documents, there are some steps that we need to carry out if we want to apply for the golden visa. So you will need to invest in a fund, which means transfer money. You have to get money usually from your home country to Portugal. So this is certainly one thing that we have to consider. There are some companies that deals with these transactions, currency exchange, but it's part of the process. Documents analysis as well. It's good to have people that are experts in this kind of application to go over the documents to make sure they are in place. The application itself, despite the fact that it's easy to apply, there must be there is a process to register at the portal, for example. There is a step by step, and usually what happens is we gather all of the documents, we upload the documents to the system. Then now IMA is now the agency that's in place to analyze the documents, and the process will analyze it, and then you will be able to schedule an appointment here in Portugal so that you can do your fingerprints, take your photos, and deliver the originals, the documents, to Portugal. And after this, usually what happens is the applicant has to wait for a while, and the permit card will be delivered to a specific address that the applicant wants to receive it. So, despite the fact that the process starts remotely, there is one stage where this person or this family needs to come to Portugal to do their fingerprints and this last stage. Overall, very simple. That's why this golden visa is so popular. If you compare to other that are available, and I do have some experience dealing with other types of golden visas as well. This one, for me at least, by far, is the easiest one to handle, and the benefits are, as I mentioned, incredible. Yeah. So now that we spoke about the process, about the golden visa, I will let my dear friend Guilherme talk a little bit about the fund itself.
Great. Thank you, Victor. So I have here also some slides. I will try to be quick, not to bother you. But so quite quickly, I will cover what is Oxy Capital and the funds that we have for golden visa investors. So Quite quickly, moving on to the first slide. So Oxy Capital was founded in 2012. And we are the largest in Portugal. We manage over 1.4 billion euros. Actually, we have started the Golden Visa strategy in 2021 only, initially with a small real estate fund, and right now we have 3 options, fund options. Until then, we have quite an interesting, impressive investor basis that we'll cover in the next slides. Moving to the other slide. So in terms of strategy of this 1.4, so we initially started in 2012. So after the peak of the financial crisis here in Portugal, we started on the turnaround strategy in some industrial and hospitality companies. But since 2014, we have been focusing in private equity, so investing equity or debt instruments in healthy companies in Portugal that want to grow in Portugal and some in Spain. And this has been our core business so far. More recently, we have started the public markets, so investing in public equities, leverage on our sector knowledge of the private equity business. Besides these 2 that we call core businesses, we have some other businesses such as venture, real estate, SMEs capitalization, and even the turnaround, that we still have funds under management and that we still are investing. Moving to the next slide. Over the last years, we have invested in more than 80 companies, in most of them in Portugal, some in Spain, and we have divested from more than 40 of these companies. We have invested both in debt structures or growth and buyouts, so acquisitions, or investing in companies for them to grow. In terms of sectors, we are quite agnostic. We have been so far with I'd say a bias towards industrial businesses, since Portugal is quite an interesting industrial hub, especially the north of Portugal, where Victor is located. But we still hold several investments both on hospitality more on the south of Portugal, on the Algarve region, that I bet everyone in this call knows, or in the software business, agro business, or in the services businesses. So we are quite agnostic in terms of sectors and in terms of structures of investments. Moving to the next slide. In terms of, so all of these was done over the last few years with quite interesting returns for investors. So on our private equity funds, we have been having roughly a return per year for the investor of 30%. And on the public markets, on the public equities, we have been delivering roughly 26% annualized returns. On our, just one remark, on our public equities business, what we try to do is, as I mentioned, so leverage on our private equity business, on the businesses that we invest in, our knowledge that we gather on our private equity companies. We try to invest in the public sector, in companies. I would say we are not focusing on investments on Google or in Amazon, so in small to mid companies listed on the stock market that are in sectors that we know or that are similar to to our private equity business, and we can have like a private equity approach to this business. So speak with the management team, understanding the operational behind a public company, because we know the operational part from our private businesses. So all these returns were possible or are possible, especially with the successful companies that we have run. So companies that we were successful on increasing the EBITDA and the profitability of the companies, and in the end successfully exiting the company, especially to some companies that are backed from top tier global investment firms such as, I don't know, Blackstone, the largest private equity in the world, CVC, KKR, and so on. Going to the next slide. Besides these, and I think they are quite related, we are proud to say that we have a reputed investor basis. So our main investors are foundations from the United States that invest on us. Second largest investor, I'd say, would be the European Investment Fund through the European Investment Fund. Then several Portuguese banks invest, roughly 90% of the Portuguese banking sector invest also on our funds, especially on the restructuring funds. And on a more individual level, we have more than 150 private investors, both Golden Visa, so I would say roughly 80 Golden Visa, 70, 80, and the rest are family offices and private investors here from Portugal. Besides this, the team and Oxy Capital invest a significant amount on the funds that aligns the interests of all investors. Going to the next slide. That is the last slide. So this is the Golden Visa funds that we currently have. So we have 3 funds with different strategies. The first fund that is here in the first column is a fund focusing the public markets. Okay, Portugal Liquid Opportunities Fund. It's a fund that for the Golden Visa purposes, it has to be invested more than 60% in Portugal. So what the fund does is invests more than 60% in Portugal, in the largest Portuguese companies on the stock market, and 30% of these 60 in Portuguese bonds to have a stable return. On the rest of the funds, on the 40%, we invest in our strategy. So the one that I told you a few slides ago. So investing in companies all over the world, in sectors that we know or that we are quite familiar with in the private business. And these 40% actually invest together with us, because we have a fund that is not eligible for Golden Visa that does the same strategy as these 40%, together with us and other private investors. So we are totally aligned on this. This fund is open-ended, meaning that you can exit whenever you like. So whenever you have the Golden Visa ready, you can exit whenever you have the citizenship. So this is the first fund, more flexible fund, since it is an open-ended. And then we have 2 that are closed funds, so that are you can only exit on the maturity of the fund, since they are focused on investing in private companies. The second fund, so number two, column number two, is the Prosper Harbor Fund, is a fund focusing debt structures, debt and hybrid structures in Portuguese companies, so in small and medium enterprises here in Portugal, that we have a lot of experience since we have met more than 900 companies in the last few years. And the goal here is to invest with a fixed interest rate on a debt or slash hybrid structure in the Portuguese companies at an interest of, on the mid single digit for these companies, and then the investor can exit in December 2029, since this is the term of the fund when we get all the debt that we have invested in the companies. Interesting thing about this fund is that it will have a recurrent cash flow for the investor, that will have the return, the net return of the interests that the companies that will be investing are paying. Last but not least, the Mercurio Fund. It's a fund that is a fund focusing private equity, so private equity and junior debt, investing in a flexible between debt, so junior debt and equity structures in Portuguese companies with interesting returns. So we are talking about mid-teens returns. So similar to our other funds that are non-golden visa, but with a more downside protection. So less risk, less return, more downside protection, and at the same time also targeting also opportunistic transactions that we find. The term of the fund, this last fund, is December 2030. One interesting, so it's roughly 6 years. One interesting thing of this fund is that it has 25 million euros from the state-owned bank in Portugal that launched a tender that we have won together with other entities, but we were the ones that we won 25 million euros that they invested. We also invest in this fund, and we have currently on the whole fund is currently roughly 45 million euros. So one interesting thing of these funds is that the minimum investment is 100k in each fund. For the whole program, you have to invest 500,000, but you can mix and match strategies, so you can split within the funds for you to get the perfect risk return profile that is better for your taste. Okay. So I think this was all from my side. Once again, I would like to thank Victor for this opportunity. You have here my contacts if you have some more details that you want to get in and want to know more. You can for sure contact me, and I'm more than happy to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guilherme. Nice explanation about the funds that, as I mentioned in the beginning, are something unique. Congratulations. And now I will open for questions. I see here that we have some of them already. And I will start we have some that are quite repeated. So I will maybe just put them together. And the first one, it's for you, Guilherme. It's related to cryptocurrency. If it's possible to apply, using the Bitcoin.
So in terms of Bitcoin, we just to be totally honest, we do not have yet any investor that have used Bitcoin or cryptocurrency to invest. Directly, it's not acceptable. I would have to check the details with my compliance department. It depends from case to case, I would say. But my compliance department would have to deep dive on that and to see if it's acceptable or not. My advice would be just to send me an email and we'll get into detail and I will put in contact with my compliance department.
Amazing, thank you. Yes, and do encourage you guys to send emails. It's the best way we can go out for your answers. And we have one from Alton. That's one for me. So he's asking if they can use the golden visa to visit the US. I guess what Alton is means is that uh, if he does not need to apply for a visa to visit the US, if we he has the Portuguese permit. Unfortunately, the permit is allows you to visit many countries, but mostly on the Schengen zone. So I guess that now we are talking about 27 countries. Croatia just joined,
Mhm.
yes, but mostly are within Europe. So that's where you can travel to without having to apply for a specific visa. Um, so this one's for you, Guilherme. It's quite specific. Do you deal with investments in film production? I don't know.
In so if you say we have never if you say plastic film or I think it's film from movie, right?
I guess so.
Um, so we are agnostic in terms of sector. So we have invested in several industries, different industries. So it's always interesting for us to look into new opportunities. Film production is actually one that we have not yet, at least, invested, but we're always open to see check new opportunities.
Amazing, amazing. Um, let's see over here. Yeah, this one I guess you did answer already about the time horizon for the golden
Exactly.
visa. Yes, this one you've already covered. Um, Let me see here. So cryptocurrency again. This one I won't lie, I did not understand pretty well. Maybe you do, Guilherme. So is there any uncertainty about the projects in Sinis? Do you know what
I
this?
I don't know which projects in scenes.
I don't either. It's from Sonia. If you want to be more specific, Sonia, we can try to answer your question. You've also covered the returns. So we have one question talking about the returns on the Golden Visa funds. This one you did talk a little bit when presenting the funds.
Sonia already replied, yes.
Yes.
Not related to this.
Oh, I mean, so Sonia, she just sent a message that the project is related to a hydrogen project. So if
Yes, I think it's not this. I think it's not this specific. Yeah.
yeah, so not this one specifically. Is there another opportunity to invest in besides these funds? Maybe like a donation. Yeah, this is more for me. There
Mhm.
are many types of investments if you want to apply for the golden visa. Some of them they are not if you want to invest in golden visa and want some kind of return in terms of investments, uh, besides being able to apply for the passport in the end, certainly there's nothing like the investment in Portuguese funds nowadays. Yes, there are other types of investments. There is one related to donation and investment in specific areas here in Portugal. So, if I remember well, related to arts, but they are not even they're not popular at all. I don't recall anyone who has decided to choose this type of investment instead of investing in a fund or in the past in a property, which means that you maybe the property would also grant you an investment opportunity, or you would person would like to live here in Portugal. So but yes, there is also one that you can transfer certain amount of money to Portugal, but it's a huge amount. In my opinion, nowadays there is nothing like the investment in a Portuguese fund, considering the return that you will receive for your investment. Let's see, we're getting close to the end. We have one from Jeffrey, our friend Jeffrey. So, if you have a D7 visa, do you still need to apply for the golden visa? Well, you can apply for the golden visa, especially if the main there are many um, reasons why you should apply for the golden visa instead of applying for a regular D7 or D8 visa. That is, you won't be you can leave the country and you can live elsewhere. You don't need to stay here for a specific amount of time. So if Jeffrey, that's your case, so you don't want to live in Portugal, certainly the golden visa is more suited for you. If as you do have a D7 visa and maybe you do intend to live here, if that's your intent to live here, the D7 is fine for you. Okay, but it depends on what you are looking for. But it's possible. It's possible to change the route of your journey and apply for the golden visa instead of keeping the D7 visa. So we have one from John. Can you clarify what level of investment is required to get the golden visa? So yeah, this one Guilherme covered as well.
Yeah.
If you want,
Yeah. So if you want me, I can. So you have to invest half a million on the fund route, half a million euros. You can, and in the case of our funds, you can split within the 3 funds or within 2 funds in a minimum investment of 100K per fund.
Thank you, Guilherme. Yes, I guess we got to the end here. I can see um more questions, but again, we you do have our email address here. Feel free to reach out to me, to Guilherme. We will uh, answer your questions if you have anything more specific. And I would like again to thank you, Guilherme, for accepting this invitation. Really, really
It was a
nice,
pleasure. Thank you so much.
really nice being here with you. And this is just the first one that we are doing together. And hopefully we will have a longer partnership in this process.
For sure. Thank you so much for the invitation. It was a pleasure to be here. And
Thank you.
thanks so much for the questions that were quite interesting.
And thank you, everyone. Really nice having you here. This presentation will be sent to you by email, and again, feel free to reach out to us with any question. Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful night, and
Thank you.
thank you. Bye.